Can you go to jail because you did not pay a debt? I believe that this is my civil responsibility to keep you informed about some of the changes that are going on in our states that are allowing courts or debt collectors or even original creditors to enforce civil judgments with a penalty of bringing the person into jail and well, arresting them, having a bond, having a I forget what they call it, but having a warrant for their arrest, a body, they call it a bodily bond or something. I forget what they call it, but have them where they are actually arrested because they did not, uh, in a sense, it's because they didn't pay a debt, but technically it's because they did not answer to what they're going to do about paying a debt. I've always said that the end result is the same. The person's going to end up in jail. And so it's my responsibility to let you know that this stuff is true so I can help you not find yourself into this in these situations. That's my responsibility. I feel that that's something that I need to do to make sure that you don't find yourself in that situation. So here we go here. I'm just going to go state by state. We got Washington. So now this is straight from the ACLU. This is not something that I'm making up. This is not a map that I made up. This is not some sort of whatever. This is just real deal stuff. We're just going to walk it down. I'm going to show you that it's really happening, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to do to avoid these situations. And there's a lot of ways that people can get tangled up to where they did not know that they were going to have a warrant put out for their arrest. Number one, people don't even know really in the masses don't even know that this can actually happen. And then there's a lot of people that don't believe that it can happen. And then when I tell people about it, rather than people just acknowledging that it is happening because I'm showing the proof, a lot of people just start to say that it can't happen. You even have attorneys that are out there saying it can't happen. But you have courts that are actually issuing these warrants for debtors' arrest. And here's the technical piece of it, is that no, they cannot put you in jail for a debt that you owe. But they can put you in jail for a debt that you did not come to court when you were told to come to court and say how you're going to pay that debt. If the debt collection company or whoever is trying to collect on that debt says, I want to do a debtor's examination, and you don't come in and you don't participate in that debtor's examination, next thing that they could do is to have a warrant placed for your arrest. And so that means that you could be out at a park, you could be driving to work, you could be driving to the mall, and you could get a simple speeding ticket or parking ticket, and the police officer will take you to jail over that. And if you are not able to get in front of a judge over so you can tell them about what you're going to do about that debt, you could be in jail until you get in front of a judge. This is real stuff that is happening to people. So now Washington State, right there, judges have issued arrest warrants for debtors. Oregon, Idaho, California, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, Texas. Now, earlier I said that people get, you get entangled. What can make this whole situation happen? Number one, almost 93% of judgments are default judgments where the person doesn't even show up to court. That's already putting it, like starting the motions for something like this to happen. So if you didn't show up to court, or maybe you didn't even know, you didn't get served. Some of these states are allowing companies or debt collection companies to attempt service. So they could just say, we attempted to serve them, but they wasn't there, or they didn't accept it. Then they put your name in a newspaper. Nobody's reading newspapers anymore, but that's considered legal attempted service. And then they get the judgment, and then they send out to the same address that you didn't get served at the notification to come in for a debtor's exam. You don't get that, and then all of a sudden you're driving, and then you get a speeding ticket, and you get arrested, and you're like, what the hell is this all about? And they say, we have a warrant for your arrest for a debtor's examination. Sometimes the officers don't even know what it's about. We got Mississippi, we got Arkansas, we got Missouri, we got Illinois, we got Wisconsin, we got Minnesota, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Massachusetts, Tennessee, and we got Florida. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to start getting updated. But you can see, look at this map. Look at this map. You can see that this is something that is real. So now let's talk about the solution. Solution is, if you, number one, from the beginning, I want you to promise me that you're going to do this from the beginning. If you ever get any letter from a debt collector, is that you first check the statute of limitations to see if they even have a right to a legal right. They can come after you morally to try to get you to pay, but do they have a legal right to even make you pay that debt? If it's past the legal statute of limitations to collect a debt in your state, you do not have to pay that debt legally. They can call you. You can tell them cease all collection activities. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you the letter to get them to stop that. If the debt is past legal statute of limitations, you don't have to pay anything for it. And they have no legal options to make you have to pay the debt. Next thing is, if it's not past legal statute of limitation, I want you to do a certified debt validation. A certified debt validation. We're going to send this certified mail, and you need to have specific questions that you're going to ask about that debt that they've purchased. Next thing is, if all of that falls, correct, at least you're ahead of the game and you know what's going on. If you are past that, where you happen to have gotten sued, next thing, I want you to answer that lawsuit, because this is how you could be proactive and not have anything come at you without you knowing it. So if you get served, you need to go ahead, sign that service, and then prepare an answer against that debt collection lawsuit. There are a lot of good things can happen just simply by doing that. If you need help with that, go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. We can help you with that. Next thing, if you already have a judgment and you do have time, you can get it reopened and vacated, especially if you did not show up or you were not properly served. Next, if they got it and you are not allowed to reopen it because the time frame has passed, what I need you to do is I need you to be proactive and look at working out some sort of solution with that. At a minimum, if they do contact you and you are not able to pay and they're not able to garnish you, because a lot of times this is what will happen, is that they will check you out, and if they see that they cannot garnish your wages, maybe you for whatever reason, or you're a business owner, 1099 worker, whatever, they might try to attach your bank account or freeze your bank account. But if they can't do any of that, what they'll do as a last resort is to ask for a warrant for your arrest to make you come in, do a debtor's examination. So really, they can put an end to if they're going to continue coming after you or not. That's like the bottom line of getting that information, and you're going to be swearing to that information when you do that debtor's examination. So now that you have your instructions, I want you to take action. I don't want you to leave this stuff sitting out there, because I don't want you to end up being in this situation like some of these people if you live in these states. Now, if you don't live in one of these states, you are still susceptible to them garnishing your wages. You could still have your bank account frozen. You could still have your bank account garnished. So just because you don't live in any of these states, yes, you no warrants for your. As a matter of fact, let me just clarify something. It's just that in these other states that judges have not granted it. They could grant it in any of these states. We're just what the ACLU did right here is they just did a rundown of what they were able to find from reports from all of these states. It could have happened in some of these other states. People just didn't want to go on record as reporting it, or the courts didn't report it, or wasn't revealing the information about it. But it is legal, because if you do not come in for a debtor's examination, it doesn't matter what state you live in, the debt collection company can request that a warrant be placed on you to come in for that debtor's examination, so it can happen. All right, if you need help with any of this stuff, you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, put your situation in the live chat, and we'll respond back to you. If you need help with your credit, please visit thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports, and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Use the one that's appropriate for your situation. Please subscribe to my channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.